Hello everyone, Richard Lewis here, another video, and this one's going to be about just a general gaming topic that I have to get off my chest. It's not just competitive gaming and esports where we have scams and bullshit artists. Of course, we have that in gaming too. We've seen lots of examples of that down the years, too many to really mention. And what I want to do a video about today is No Man's Sky, which is a hugely commercially successful game. It was the game that was hyped up from 2014 onwards until its release. You couldn't open a publication in your browser without them having some No Man's Sky content on it. It was one of the most hotly anticipated games coming out of the most recent run at E3. That's been reflected in sales, and the reality is it's absolutely fucking terrible. It's absolutely terrible. For me, it's one of the most lucrative cons that's ever been pulled on the gaming community. Sam, now I don't know how much you're going to be able to contribute to this, mate, because have you played it?
Nah, I ain't spending my money on that shit, mate. I smelt the bullshit from a mile off.
Well, I see. I didn't spend my money on that bullshit either. I got a friend's account. I had a little play on it. To be fair, I only did about 5 hours. I don't know if that's enough to really get a handle on it, but from everything else I've read, from everything else I've watched, from the streams and everything, I feel comfortable talking about it. I like you, I sensed there was something off about it, and I just didn't want to invest. First of all, I won't pre-order a game. That's a bad fucking decision. If you support pre-orders, you're kind of harming the games industry. No game works at launch anymore. And if you pre-order it and you're expecting to play on day one with a bug and glitch-free experience, you're going to be disappointed. That's just the way the industry is right now, and the only way we're going to alter that is by not supporting pre-orders. But for me, this is just a ridiculous failure by the traditional games press. You know, once again, they failed their audience. They failed the consumer, because we've had constant hype since this game was about to be released. I mean, constant. Everywhere, articles everywhere, wild speculation even about what the game is going to be like, and all of this seemed to be predicated on the developers talking a very good game. They talked about how they'd used maths, they'd fused mathematics and programming together to create this universe that was as good as potentially infinite in something like 18 trillion planets. They hammered this number through every time they went out there, and everyone was like, well, wow, that's incredible. Imagine a game that was unlimited in its possibilities. That's what really got everyone's interest and hooked everyone in, and that's why everyone was so supportive. We were being told we were going to boldly go where no man has gone before, Star Trek style. We were going to see a game that was this huge, vast, as good as infinite sandbox. We would never fully be able to explore all of the game, right? And that excited people. Now, there was this E3 demo, Sam. I want you to have a look at this. I'm going to talk through it. I don't know if you remember the E3 demo, but this is the 2014 E3 demo. I don't know. You can even put the music in, because the music's really good. I will say this game has an amazing soundtrack. But you can see, look at it, right? Look, I'm emerging from a cave. Look at these neon lights. Oh, and look at this. Look at this rich. Yeah, look at this rich, verdant landscape that I come into. You can see there's like wildlife everywhere, different types of plants, fauna. We got these strange robotic things flying overhead. What are they? And this looks exciting. This looks really exciting. And oh, what's that? He's having a scamper, right? You come all the way through. You're looking through this. This to me, when I watched this demo, I was like, wow, this game's going to be really fucking good. This looks exciting. This looks like something that would pique my interest. And you can see here we get the Jurassic Park moment. There's big dinosaurs. Ooh, look at that. And then it pops up like, I've discovered this, a new species. Like, look at this. Isn't that amazing? And you can see, why this would pique people's interest. The idea of space exploration is something that's been in games for a long, long time. I remember playing Elite back when I was a kid and being excited, and the graphics there were nowhere near this. The idea of discovering new life on planets is incredibly exciting. Now, obviously, you can keep this on in the background, but this demo shows so much that just isn't in the final game. You see people jumping into spaceships, flying off. They have a space combat. They do it in formation. And the key thing here, which we'll talk about later, is this demo really plants that seed of the idea that, hey, look at this, it's multiplayer, right? Like, it must be, because who are these other dudes? Who are these other people in the universe that I've coincidentally just come across, and we're flying around, and we're achieving some goal together, even if we're not in direct communication. Now, we would later find out that that would be a complete lie. It's one of the biggest lies that's ever been sold on the gaming community. So you can kill the video roundabout there, because this is what you actually got. We see space combat. We see discovering new life. What did we actually get, Sam? Well, if you open up this article from Kotaku and we just compare it, right? Keep in mind, that's 2014, so the game should have got better since then, right? It should have been more exciting. What do we get? We get dick monsters, mate. Dick fucking monsters. Just look at that. With a cock and balls on its face, mate. Look at that. And look how desolate and bleak the landscape is anyway. I'm just having a roam. I'm having a roam in this desolate, bleak landscape. I'm already feeling pretty upset because I've been scammed out of my $60 because this was sold at AAA title price. But maybe I'll get to that planet with all the dinosaurs and the cool shit and get a flying formation like vintage Star Fox and take down Andros. No, dick monster. Look at it. Cock and balls, mate. 4 legs and cock and balls. Scroll down. There's more. Look at all these dick monsters.
That one's really
Look at that one. It's a fucking glance. It is a bell end on 4 legs. It's a bell end on 4 legs. And then you got that one again. Now it's a bell end with a dick coming out of the bell end. There's a giant bell end. Which one do you like, mate? Which one's best? No, you like the purple one, do you? You like the purple dick monster. I mean, but look at it, dudes.
What's wrong with that cunt's legs?
Right?
Oh, legs like a pig's tail, but
Like, he's got Jenga legs. Like, unreal, innit? Right, now here's the thing. These are all funny, right? Don't get me wrong. If I came across a giant wobbling dick on stilts, I'd probably laugh. But that in no way reflects what the game looked like in that demo. And here's why. Because what we've been sold is just procedurally generated bunk. It's just garbage. It's just random bits of existing in-game materials being stuck and glued together in a random way. You will never find a planet that resembles anything in that demo. You just won't. What you'll find is, okay, we take body part 1,269, and we add legs 42, and we add head 5,006, and we stick it together, and that's a creature. And the more you fly around these planets, the more you see that. You know, what they said was, as a concept, you were going to discover this universe that hadn't been discovered. It was you in this vast expanse of space. But when you're on the planets, first off, from a storyline perspective, every planet I visited, there was already proof that some of the alien being had sort of been there before me. And second of all the life was just this semi-sentient, borderline dick monster bullshit. It was just, it just wasn't fun. And on top of that, the in-game mechanics, it's got like elements of Minecraft, right? Just to simply put, where you have to obtain elements and in-game resources, but it has none of the things that make Minecraft a great game. You don't feel like you're contributing to anything. You're not building anything. You don't make a mark on the universe that way. And it's got some like super thin storyline that like I just didn't hook me in at all. So it was just ridiculous. Now, how can a game, and I'm loath to call it a game because this isn't a game. And I don't want to get drawn into the argument about what is a game and what isn't. That's not what I'm doing. A walking simulator can be a game, but this is just a tech demo. This is all it is. It's been peddled as a game, but it's just a demo about what's possible with this new procedural generation mathematic wizardry. That's all it is. Okay, and it's Steam's biggest release of the year, mate. It's Steam's biggest release of the year. Right? It peaked. It had 620 concurrent players on its first day. Right? And people were so hyped that they went out there and bought it. And this is $60 a time. So to put it in context, Fallout 4, that had 472,000 peak users, That was its peak, and that made $750 million within 24 hours. So I think we can deduce from the numbers this has been unbelievably successful from a fiscal perspective. But the game is garbage. Like I say, I'm loath to call it a game at all. And here's the thing. Alarm bells should have been ringing for everybody when the motherfucking developer himself comes out. This cunt for hire, Sean Murray, right, who was... literally, he's rolled around like some hipster asshole just doing these interviews. He's lied in interviews. We're going to show that in a little bit now. Like, he's a likable, personable face of a scam. All right, he's a confidence trickster. I'm not really, and just before the game was released, he puts a blog post out, right, which it's saying, "What do you do in No Man's Sky?" And we're coming up to launch. So he shows some screenshots from the development, right, as if to show you, oh, look what it used to look like when we were developing. I mean, first of all, again, he says, here it is 6 months in, here it is here. These screenshots still look worse than what was sold at E3. Now, anyone that remembers what happened with Aliens Colonial Marines, they were subject to a class action suit, actually, because what they demonstrated, what they showed prior to launch, bore no resemblance in terms of how it looked to the game. It was so disparate in terms of how good it looked when they were demonstrating it to what the final product actually resembled. And people felt that line, oh, it may differ, things may change, didn't really cover them. This, literally, again, even by their own admission on their own blog, looks nothing like that super exciting E3 demo. So you can see he talks about it. He shows all the stuff that they've released so far, and then he says, "Guys, this is what you do in No Man's Sky." And he says, "Like, here's what it is. It's exploring a universe of pretty procedurally generated worlds with beautiful creatures. I think the dick monster. I don't think there's anything beautiful about half horse, half bell end, is there?" I don't think there's anything beautiful about that. Then it says it's trading with NPCs. Yes, you definitely do that in space stations. It's very boring. It's very standard. It's just all menu driven. You don't really feel, like you're doing anything. You're not really meeting an alien. It's like just a screen type situation, Combat against robots, mechs, and cool space battles. The combat in this game is absolutely atrocious, by the way, mechanically. Everyone agrees with that, I think, across the board. Survival crafting in a universe-sized sandbox, okay. An awesome procedural soundtrack from my genuine favorite band, brilliant. And for one small moment, you might feel like you've stepped into a sci-fi book cover. I think for one small moment, you might feel like you've stepped in dog shit. I think would be like a better summary of this game. So, and then he goes to say, this maybe isn't the game you imagined from those trailers. That is unfucking believably disgusting to come out and say that. Like, literally, this isn't the game you imagined. You imagined it, dude. We didn't sell it. You imagined it. It was all in your head, mate. We might have shown you a glorious E3 demo with a wonderful, verdant universe that you can fully interact with. We might have shown you flying in unison with other spaceships to do synchronized space combat, but you imagined that would be in the final game. It's in your head. So that's unbelievable, okay? Now, so the con doesn't really end there, because the biggest lie that they sold was the multiplayer lie. Now, you'll hear the developer say on multiple occasions that there's going to be multiplayer elements in this game. I've got about a 60-second YouTube video, Sam, if you want to just run that. I think it's the second one in the list. And I won't talk over that, so you can hear, again, this hipster motherfucker, in his own words, say this shit.
Massively multiplayer world that's procedurally generated, and is there anything that this game doesn't have?
Do we ever get to see ourselves?
No, you don't see yourself, so the only way for you to know what you look like is for somebody else to see you.
Can you run into other people, other players on the game?
Yes, but the chances of that are incredibly rare, just because of the size of what we're building.
Wow.
How much interaction is there with other people playing No Man's Sky?
Those were AI,
Yeah.
those wingmen. But
you could encounter other players. The reality is, the likelihood of that is tiny, basically.
Will you be able to play with your friends?
Yeah.
Can you grief other players?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's as plain as the fucking nose on my face, which, by the way, someone said my nose looks like a replica nose. It looks like it comes with these glasses. Like, look, it does. It's not attached, right? But it's as plain as the fucking nose on my face, mate. That he's had a lie, hasn't he? I mean, did you get that impression? You listened to that, right?
Yeah. The best one, we just goes, yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
It's tiny.
Whatever. I'm
such a tiny chap.
Yeah, I mean, all the other stuff. But yeah. Right, now, credit to the YouTuber who put that together. Obviously, we'll put him in the comments at the bottom. He's done the work, so we didn't have to. But there was a few other examples that we've not included. But just for the interest of being succinct, we'll do that. So there, he has demonstrably lied about the multiplayer element in the game. And, they did say, the universe is so vast. The idea of two players meeting is so incredibly unlikely that who even knows? Well, it happened on the first day of launch, didn't it, mate?
Yeah.
Which raises questions, by the way, just about whether they're lying about the size of the planet. Actually, it raises further questions, doesn't it? Right? Because it's like he's saying, it's borderline near impossible. I think it's borderline near impossible. But of course, they met on the first day. And again, I don't know if you want to play the videos. I don't know what that really adds. But if people need to see the proof, there is proof. And then we got through. And the first time it happened, the very first instance, people met and they realized, holy fucking shit, we can't see each other. We can't see each other or interact in any way. They were in a hangar and they were looking at each other and they were like, wow, this is bullshit. They were on a planet. This is bullshit. So the developers... Again, Sean Murray, they said, it's a glitch. It's got to be a glitch. It's got to be a glitch. And you can see this video here on your screen. Again, a good example of this. But there's 3 or 4. It didn't just happen once. So again, now we know the developer definitely likes it. It must be a glitch. It happens all the fucking time. It ain't no glitch. If every time something happens, this isn't a one-off problem. This is a fucking... lie. You've just lied. You just haven't put this element in your game. You just haven't done that. And again, this is demonstrable. So we're going to put all the YouTube videos in there. One of which, by the way, is a kid who thought he was going to get 1 million hits for doing something that someone else did, and it just gave me a tumor in my head. I think it was fucking listening to that kid was unreal. So warning on that one, health warning on that, right? But I ended up looking like the bollock monsters, mate. Just fucking blurred out, So anyway, so let's have a look at this. Okay, so Sean Murray addressed No Man's Sky's players meeting on the first day. This is in an article on PCGamesN.com. Underrated site. Do some good work. And again, I'll just make sure you've got the link just in case you haven't. Sam, there it is. So he put out a bunch of tweets and he's like, 2 players finding each other on a stream in the first day. That has blown my mind. Mate, your game being as bad as it was at release has blown my fucking mind, but there you go. And again, just this sort of, let's try and obfuscate the issue and let's turn it into a sales opportunity. We added a scan for other players in the galactic map to try and encourage this happening. We wanted it to happen. Don't think you did, mate. We'll come to that in a second. We want people to be aware that they are in a shared universe. We added online features and some Easter eggs to create cool moments. We hope to see those happening, but too many of you are playing right now. More than we could have predicted. It's your fault, guys. It's your fault. For supporting their game, you fucked it up. You made it not cool. You're the idiots. We're swimming in money for one of the biggest Steam release of 2016. What you didn't take into consideration by parting with your hard-earned $60 for us when we released a half-assed botched game, you ruined it by playing it. You ruined it. You're the fucking idiots. We would have put way more cool shit in if less of you were going to buy it. Think about the logic there, right? It is a testament to how amazing our network coders are that Discoveries are still working at all. Yeah. This is legit. This is what he said. This is what he said. Like, there's so many people playing our game. It's amazing that the game is even doing what we said it would. So don't hate us. I mean, like we're so talented to even make it work. For instance, overnight we hit 10 million species discovered in No Man's Sky. That's more than has been discovered on Earth. What is going on? That was the point of the game. That was the point of the game, Sean Murray.
There's trillions of planets in your game. We only got one, motherfucker.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. He's got the fucking stones to come out and say that publicly. I would be ashamed. Like, if I was Sony, I'd be like, why do we let this guy talk again? What is going on there? And again, what's super interesting is that, for me, is you get crucified, rightly so. You get laughed out of the business for saying shit like that. People didn't do it. People didn't go after Sean Murray. People wanted this game to succeed so badly after like 2.5, 3 years of fucking hype. And the mainstream games press had peddled it. They were like, bloody hell, Sean, you're letting the side down here. Right? Nobody really called him out about it. Credit to PC Games End for kind of being a little bit critical of it. But again, it's just this idea that if the game sucks, it's somehow down to the player, it's down to the buyer. I think that's a really disgusting attitude. So anyway, what I'm going to say here is, and this is a direct accusation, I feel comfortable making it based on the evidence. They got to a point. Here's what it looks like to me. The No Man's Sky development team got to a point. We all know they had that last minute patch where they told people who've been playing the game and saying it was shit for days beforehand. They were like, yeah, but they're not playing the finished experience, mate. You need a patch, right? So what happened was they just had no intention of putting multiplayer into the game for launch because they'd already had a delay. People already were raging about it. All the pre-order kids were already fucking super angry. They'd rather play a shit game than a finished one, evidently. It's the joy of pre-order. But then again, I suppose you should work to dates. Whatever. No winners in that argument. But, you know, they just didn't build it into the game. It was never going to be there at launch. And then, if you want further evidence about that, if you think, Richard, that's a demented conspiracy theory, well, they only fucking... Well, right, for the PS4 version, they only covered up the stickers, mate. They only covered it up.
What do you mean?
They covered it up. They literally, right, on a box, okay, it says, like, this is the PEGI rating, this is what the game contains, if the game's suitable to play online or not. So on the original box, it said it has online play. They issued new stickers to go over the box and pretend that wasn't there.
Never happened.
Didn't happen. Didn't happen. Like, legit, look at it on the article. Look at it on PC Games. Look,
good. Doesn't even
they just stuck a sticker over it, dude. They stuck a sticker over it. Won't be needing that no more. Fucking hell. Hope nobody picks that sticker off. That happened. That is real. Look at it. Look at it with your own fucking eyes. It's absolutely unreal. So yeah, if you do peel the sticker off, as you scroll down, it looked like the sticker was going to get a PEGI 12 rating. So they did have to change the rating. Okay, and I totally understand that, right? Like, and these can happen. These shifts can happen at the last minute, you know. And actually, you would want it to be marketed age appropriate for the content because obviously that affects your sales. So I don't have an issue with them sticking a sticker over. If PEGI have given it a 7 rating instead of a 12 rating, you need to correct that. That's fine. I mean, you know, the idea of parents going in and not buying this game for the kids, I mean, as it turns out, they'd be doing them a favor, but not buying this game for the kid's been hyped for it on the basis that the age rating is wrong. That is a problem. You have to correct that. Okay, fair dues. But they just sneakily took out the online play bit. Just sneakily took that out. And again, you know, like, that, to me, is ridiculous. And they tried to explain it away. And they were just like, well, incorrect descriptors were incorporated into the original No Man's Sky limited edition package. This was a production issue and was rectified using placement stickers. So there you go. But, of course, we all know from the actual finished game experience that you couldn't really play online. Sure, you could name things and the servers would save it. You know, when you found a dick monster... called it Belendius Maximus, right? That would save on a server, but you can't meet players. So that is a fucking scam. That is a scam. End of story. There is no other way to sell it right now. On top of that, okay, at launch for PC users, the game was fucking unplayable for huge amounts of the player base. Total Biscuit did a video on it. All graphics are fucked up, frame rates, constant crashes. This game was so badly optimized for PC, it could crash while it was paused. Think about that, right? There was so many, and here's the ultimate bug. I love this one in a way. It's almost as if there was some meta thing going on, right? But there was a bug, right? So if you pre-ordered the game, you got like a bit of a better ship than everybody else, right? Like that's the incentive. That was the inducement for buying into the fucking cancer that is pre-order, right? So they gave you a better ship. Guess what happens? There's a bug where if you pre-order it and had that ship, you get stranded in space. That's it. You fucked. You just
Thanks
stranded.
for the money, but see ya.
Yeah. They literally may as well have had a game over screen flash up saying, "Get fucked, you gullible little cunts," just like that. Get fucked. Unbelievable. And again, you can see this was reported it was reported in a few outlets, but you can see it was reported accurately in IGN. They actually, said this isn't. I'm not making this up. This isn't anecdotal. This affected enough people that it made the game's press, right? And again, you can see they make reference to that tweet. Well, we hit 10 million species. What's going on? Yeah, it's called. You've sold your game. It's called being successful, mate. You're meant to incorporate that into the mechanics of the game. Welcome to games development 101, right? So, that was just ridiculous. Then the fact that it hit the people who pre-ordered worst was insane. Now, again, I'm going to keep saying this. Electronic Arts, EA, they were voted, I think, 2 years running. I don't have the figures to hand. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think they were voted like America's most hated company. Multiple times because of the shit they pulled with games development. I think about what they did to Dungeon Keeper, what they did to The Sims, what they've done to many a beloved games franchise. And, the criticism is justified. Imagine if EA had done this. Imagine if EA had released this fucking game. Right? Literally, this is all we'd be talking about. But because it is an EA, there's a hardcore cult of people trying to argue for the virtues of this steaming turd of a game and just giving the developers the benefit of the doubt repeatedly. And this is why you've got to be fucking skeptical about the traditional games media. Because they've had these agreements in place to get unprecedented access to the dev team so they get their free little clicks on the new hyped game, and they've done that for months, if not years, with No Man's Sky. Then when it comes out and it's a piece of shit, they have to try and pretend it isn't. They have to try and just dumb it down a little bit. That's the quid pro quo. That's what they have to do. And that's why you've got to rely on people like, YouTubers, the new media, that don't enter into those agreements, that aren't driven by it, that don't operate in a dying medium. Now, if you think that I'm exaggerating when I say there's a cult, the ever divisive Jim Sterling, who I'm not supposed to like because of his stance on Gamergate, but I actually think he has the consumer's interests at heart, so I give him a pass for all the other wacky bullshit that he does. He put a review out and gave the game what I think is a fair 5 out of 10. Right? Now, his site was immediately fucking DDoSed. Just, no!
Fuck up, it's really good.
Yeah, this game's amazing, and my $60 was worth every penny.
Look at my dick monsters.
Yeah, I've got a dick monster. Seriously, people just didn't want to fucking accept that the game might be garbage. And you even had, I read a lot of reviews, and sure, some were critical, but they always had to add a caveat at the end. So Rock, Paper, Shotgun, in their review, it said, this likely reads as an overwhelmingly negative review, and it's deserved. No Man's Sky is massively flawed and systematically poorly designed. Just end your review there. Just end your review there. But then it goes, but it's also a massive playground of potential and opportunity, and its sheer ambition for all its massive stumbles is rewarded in play. Are you fucking mad? Are you out your fucking gourd? What are you talking about? Just end it there. It was poorly designed. The menus are shit. The combat's shit. The game's not optimized for PC correctly. You don't do anything in the fucking game except put your name on the side of a dick monster. That's it. That's the fucking game. But instead, they had the caveat at the end, but it's got potential. And I've seen people come out and say, let's wait and see what the updates are like, what the game develops into. Fuck that. If a game can't hook you in within 5 hours, it's a shitly made game. That is inarguable. And the idea that mods, patches, updates, DLC are going to make the game complete somehow, like, okay, that might be true, but when you review a game, you have a fucking obligation to review it as is. You review the game that you have. You do not review the game that it could be. That's ridiculous. That's so defeating to the consumer who just want an informed opinion. And again, if you look at how delayed some of the PC reviews have been, there's still very credible outlets that haven't even released a review yet. Yet you go on Metacritic, the game is sitting at 3.2 in user reviews. Right? I guarantee you, when the critics' reviews all come out and it's all aggregated, it won't be no 3.2. It won't be. You'll get closer to that 6-7 range. I'm telling you, that'll happen. So, right, while we're talking about updates, this is where I want to end the video. Keep it brief, they said. So about that DLC, right? The DLC, that's going to save the game, mate. You know, they're going to put vagina monsters in, level things out.
And you can make them breed.
Yeah, can't wait, right? They actually had said in the build-up to this, you know, this universe is going to be huge, amazing, and we're going to give you free DLC. So you can see the quote, and this is last week at Red Bull. You've paid for the game, so you should get this stuff without paying even more money. So no, there will be no paid DLC, just patches. That's what he said to Red Bull, quote, last week. And they had intimated that throughout, that the game would be ongoing, it would be developed, there would be free updates. Now, just the other day, they'd say they turned around and changed it. And he told the Daily Star he was naive when he ruled out paid DLC completely and said it could happen. Maybe in the future, there's some reason why we couldn't just possibly afford to do a certain feature without charging for it. Right?
Yeah, they haven't made very much money, mate. Come on, they didn't sell a lot.
Is this unreal? Can you even believe this? Can you even believe the audacity? Like, definitely don't retract it in a week. Like, not now. Not while the game is getting absolutely crucified as users are fucking finding out that it's absolutely fucking garbage and you lied to them. Don't say, yeah, well, I think we might have to charge for updates. Are you fucking for real? It's unbelievable.
What a fixed game. That's another cred boy.
Yeah, there you go, mate. Yeah. So, and again, this hasn't really blown up yet. This is disgusting. If EA had done this, this is front page news of every fucking press outlet. No Man's Sky, liars, scammers, bullshit artists. EA, liars, scammers, bullshit artists, you know? EA charge you. EA don't rule out possibility to charge you to fix their game. That's the headline, right? But we don't have that headline because it's allegedly an indie dev. They're selling at AAA prices, but it's an indie dev. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Absolutely disgusting. So there you go. That's where I stand on No Man's Sky. I think it's absolute garbage outside of the fucking dick monsters. I don't really see what it's brought to the fucking table. I think this is a game where hopefully someone's going to fucking get the stones to absolutely nail these fucking developers to the wall because they lied to a bunch of fucking people and they got very rich off those lies and misrepresentations of their product. And their product is an unplayable, steaming pile of shit. So there, I said it.
Got him.
Any final thoughts, Sam?
I love dick monsters.
That is true. So does you. Right, anyway, thanks for watching. See you on the next video.